Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I am knitting. Not right now, but most of the time, and I have been knitting, so I'm going to tell you all about it. This is episode 34 of my weekly podcast series. I tell you all about the things that I'm making, any acquisitions I've acquired, what I'm spinning on my spinning wheel, and things like that. So if that sounds interesting, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future episodes and other content that I may post right here on YouTube. Let's get into it. Let's start with project updates. So this episode covers my project progress, pardon me, from November 11th through November 17th. But actually, that's outdated when I made these podcast notes this morning because I sat down and I spun a little bit on my spinning wheel. So really, this episode goes over November 11th through the morning of today, November 18th. So I have a few projects to update you on, the first of which I thought that you'd be able to see with this shot, but it's out of frame. Dun, da, da, da. Can you see it back there? That's my Cushendale Wreath. Boop, boop, boop. I hung it on the window. Some of you gave me suggestions on where to hang it on previous episodes. Like some people were saying underneath the picture where the sock is. Some people were saying under here. But ultimately, I think that the window is the best place for it. I think it's really cute. But let me grab it because I did add some things to it that I want to show you. All right, so I did not add the art yarn from this year's Irish Knitting Tour. I still haven't gotten the bravery to make a mess with this because if you remember, this black thread that's part of this yarn ball sheds a ton, and I just didn't have the mental fortitude to deal with that yet. But I did have a small ball of Treehouse Knits Truffula Cashmere in the chrysanthemum color, which is this dark purple color. This is from her Autumn Tonals in 2023. And I just had a little ball wound up on my desk because many, many months ago I swatched this, held double. Never moved forward with the swatch or casting anything on, but instead of digging out my Treehouse Knits bag of yarn to put the Truffula Cashmere portion in with, I just thought, why don't I just add it to the wreath? So I cut it up and I added it in, and I think that it adds a lot of depth. Like here's a chunk here, we got a chunk here, just having some darker purple in there, I think really makes it look good. So who knows if I'm gonna add the art yarn or not, but for now, I'm calling it done, and I'm really happy with it, hanging in my craft room window. So there's that project update. So I'm going to really say for real, it's a finished object now. I'm just not going to worry about adding this art yarn now. This is a problem for another day, and that day may never come. Okay? I'll just keep you posted if it does. The second project that I have to update you on, which is basically the only project that I've knit on this week. I've been a monogamous knitter, and that is on the Rainy Day Tee. I've been working on this pattern by Sari Nordland, and I've been knitting it up in the Treehouse Knits Dove DK base. It's a 3-ply DK. It's so squishy and plump. And this colorway is called the Curse I Can't, or A Curse I Can't Break. Pretty. You can see the line of when I steam blocked this. I think that's what that line is. It's either that or it's when I joined a new skein. I really need to get in the habit of blending skeins when I join them, but it's so much easier to be lazy. But alas. Yeah, here's the progress. And I think it's gonna be so pretty. I haven't done it in a while, the thing I used to do where I would try things on and show you the progress. And I just don't want to do it today, so I'm not going to. But maybe next week I'll have the body done and you can just enjoy. Don't those raglan cables just look so good? Last week on the podcast, I put this granny square stitch marker that Leslie got me at Flock on the row where I was. So got about 4 inches, 4.5 inches or so, maybe 5 inches. Let's see. Yeah, 4.5 inches. 4.5 inches of progress. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to replace the granny square stitch marker because I still want to see, like I still want to be able to see, okay, this is where I was 2 weeks ago. So I'm just going to put this one, which is part of that granny square stitch marker set. I'll put this where the granny square stitch marker was, because I still want to use the granny square stitch marker for the current week's progress because that's my favorite one of the set. Okay, so I put this little triangle next to the granny square, and now I'll remove the granny square and put the granny square on the current row on my cord. So we'll see next week how much length I've added from the granny square marker on. This yarn is actually currently available. You can get it at the Treehouse Knits website. It's part of the Season of the Stitch pre-order. And again, this is called Curse I Can't Break. So beautiful and dreamy. I love working with Lauren's Dove DK base, and I'm almost done with the 3rd skein. This should not be taking so much yarn, but because my tension is so tight, I had to add a considerable amount of increases to the raglan. Like according to pattern, I should have split for sleeves like here, but obviously that would not have been deep enough, so I'm just not on gauge. So I just kept trying it on and adding increases until I liked the fit, and then I knit to the depth I wanted for the arms, and then I split for sleeves. So even though I'm about 3 skeins deep into this project, I shouldn't be. I should be like 2 skeins deep, but because my tension is so tight, having to adjust. But I should have enough yarn. Lauren's sending me more yarn for this, and that's an update on my rainy day tee. It's a really good project, and especially now after being split for sleeves, there's no cables to keep track of. Like I don't need to remember what row I'm on for cabling. I'm just knitting straight stockinette down until I get to the hem ribbing. So that will be good, and then I'll add the sleeves. So there's an update on the rainy day tee. Pretty good progress, I must say, and I really haven't I haven't had so much super duper time to work on this. I mean, I've worked on it consistently, and I think I've knit every day, but I haven't knit, you know, for the hours on end every day that I would prefer, but, you know, duty calls. You have to have a real life too. So there's the progress on the rainy day tee, and since I was a monogamous knitter, that's all the project progress updates I have to share with you. So therefore, let's move on to the spin diary. For the spin diary, I spun, like I mentioned earlier, this morning I spun 1/12 of my Rambouillet braid. And thanks to many of your comments from last week's podcast, I had a much better experience spinning a section of the Rambouillet than I did previously. It's very elastic, kind of ropey, even in fiber form. But one of you commented how you find most success when you're spinning Rambouillet if you have short and sudden drafts. Like you load the fiber, you feed the fiber onto the wheel quickly. And so I kind of put that into my practice of drafting. Instead of putting my hands this far apart and trying to draft, which is difficult, I just kind of have been doing really short and sudden. Well, I guess not sudden because I'm not spinning this, but really not far apart, close together, pulling apart and drafting. And I kind of try to get the fiber to be almost like the consistency of Spanish moss. I think I've said this before. I'm not an expert, okay? So I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing that's working a little bit better for me. So that was a much better experience, and I think that will help me have the motivation to spin the rest of this up. Since I have, like when I first was drafting this braid, I split it in two. So I think once I spin up these 3 strips that I still need to pre-draft, I have 1/2 of the braid still in its half form. So anyway, I'll spin this up and then I'll be done with that bobbin, and I'll spin this second half up on a new bobbin so then I can ply it 2-ply together. Or no. Well, I was trying to do some math. Like if I'm going to do a 3-ply spin or a 3-ply braid or whatever, a 3-ply skein, then I would, how many would I need? 12, 24, 3 divided by 24 is 8. So, no, that's not right. 12, 12, 3, 4. 1, 2, okay. So then if I wanted to do 3-ply, then I would just spin up one more of this first half section, and then on a new bobbin I would spin these 2 and then 2 from this, and then on the third bobbin I would spin the last 4. Oh my god, math is hard. I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do 2-ply or 3-ply, because my Shetland braid that I tried chain plying for, chain plying, total disaster. I need a lot more practice. I don't want to practice that now though, because I need to heal my heart before I attempt it again. However, I do have a Lazy Kate where I can do a 3-ply from. So I was thinking maybe I would try a 3-ply with that. I'll have to search my heart. I'll let you know. Maybe next week there will be an answer to the question if I'm doing 2-ply or 3-ply. Make sure you subscribe so you can get the answer to this mystery. But I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know. And of course, here is a little clip of my bobbin so you can see what my spin is looking like. I was spinning much more thinly this morning than my first session of spinning Rambouillet, so it's just a learning curve. I just need to, I say this every time, I just need to be more consistent, but consistency is apparently really, really difficult because I have only spun twice in the last 2 weeks. So there you go. That's it for my spin diary. Now let's move on to acquisitions. Actually, no, not acquisitions. Well, yeah, let's move on to acquisitions. So I don't have any yarn that came in the mail, but I do have something exciting. Maybe. If you watched my video going through all the items in the goodie bags from this year's Irish Knitting Tour, you may remember that I had a custom designed fuchsia flower lemon wood mini minder. These are an exclusive Rachel is Knitting design. Well, guess what? I have a wholesale order ready to distribute. So I'm going to load these into my Etsy shop. There's a bunch of options. We have this cute pink strap option. This first one I showed you, when I opened this, I was jealous that mine doesn't have this cute lavender purple strap. There's ones with green straps, a red strap, which goes really nicely with the fuchsia petals. So there's lots of different options. I'm going to be taking some time in the near future, the coming days, to put all of those and list them online. So keep an eye out for that. I will probably be posting about it in real time on Instagram, so make sure you're following me on Instagram or on Facebook if you want first dibs. I only have 50 of them in this first wholesale order. I plan to place more wholesale orders as time goes on, but there you go. Lemonwood Mini Minders, Rachel's Knitting, exclusive fuchsia flower design. I'm really, really excited about those. They'll be $45 plus shipping and handling, and you'll be able to find them in my Etsy store. So there's the acquisition. The next section of the podcast is going to be announcements, but actually there's like 2 announcement sections. The first one is kind of a longer section because if I just ended the podcast here, I think it would be 2 minutes long, and that's just not long enough for a podcast. So I'm going to keep yapping at you. I'm thinking about doing Vlogmas. Last year, I participated in Vlogmas, but I didn't upload every day. I just uploaded every couple days as I was working through the Skein and the Stitch Hobbit Advent calendar. Well, I don't have an Advent calendar this year, but I do have some themed projects in mind for the month of December. So what I need from you is to tell me if you think I've totally lost my mind or not. Respectfully, because I think for the month of December, I really want to focus on finishing my projects, getting my WIP pile down to 0. No active projects on my needles, except maybe one because I traditionally cast on a project on Christmas Day. So, okay, clear my needles before Christmas, and then Christmas I can cast on a project. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. In order for you to be an informed critic, and you can tell me whether or not I've lost it, I want you to see all the projects that I do have. So let me walk you through them. First, I have a project that you've seen on the podcast. In fact, all of these, well, all of them except one I think you'll have seen. I have the Field Day cardigan by Ozetta. This is for my husband. I've told you that I'm considering frogging it. Honestly, I think that I should frog it because my tension is different and I just want to start it over. Okay, but if I frog it, that means it's not on my needles and I don't need to like cast it back on and finish it before Christmas. So that kind of solves that problem. However, if I stop now, when will I restart? You know, who knows? It could be a decade from now. So I want to be mindful of that. The second project that I would need to clear off my needles if I were to move forward with this self-challenge is the bane of my existence, my Stria cardigan. Oh, I need to just get over this and finish it. All it needs are sleeves and button band. And then it's done. I could totally finish this by Christmas time, don't you think? Even though it's a half fisherman's rib fingering weight garment, so AKA it takes forever, I think I could do this if I just buckled down and quit whining and quit feeling sorry for myself and just work on it. It could be finished. So that will be part of the challenge if I should move forward with it. The third project that I would need to finish, where is it? Got it. The Sea Glass sweater. This is the Sea Glass sweater by Wool and Pine Designs. I'm knitting it up in nearly every single colorway from the Long Dog Yarn Princess Bride collection. And I am past sleeve separation, right? Yeah, past sleeve separation. Just need body and sleeves. 1 by 1 color work all over. Wooga! It's so pretty, but also, this is gonna be hard. A Stria, a Sea Glass. What else did I say? The Field Day, but that would just be frogged, let's be real. Yeah. Isn't it so beautiful? Someone asked me on a recent podcast, where's your Sea Glass? Like they were afraid I got rid of it. No, I just haven't been working on it. You know? Just sometimes I hit a wall. This is a question I have. Okay, sometimes I hit a wall with a project. Like either I make a mistake or I just need a break from it or it's hurting my feelings and so therefore it needs to go in timeout. And then I pick up another project that hurt my feelings a few months ago and I'm now ready to reconcile with. So it's like a cyclical thing. Hurts my feelings, goodbye. Pick up a different one that hurt my feelings before, hello. Then that one hurts my feelings, then I pick this one back up. Back and forth times 3 or 4 because there's more than just 2 projects in this, you know, dirty cycle. Okay, if you're a if you're a monogamous, I want to, oh my God, I want to say monotonous so badly. That is, that's interesting. If you're a monogamous knitter, what do you do when your project hurts your feelings? Do you just have to be mature and regulate your emotions and then move forward? That sounds like hell. Okay, well, I guess if I'm going to be a monogamous knitter one day, I need to think about that. But the sea glass would be something that I need to finish. And then, let's not forget, I am testing the Alchemy sweater, the Alchemy pullover. I haven't cast it back on since I swatched. I still want to swatch again. But I do know that I want to cast on before Christmas, so therefore, I would need to finish before Christmas. Hello? So, yeah. What is that? 4 sweaters? The Straya, the Sea Glass, the Field Day, not really, and the Alchemy. Okay, 3 sweaters. That's not so bad. One of them really only needs sleeves and a button band. This one needs a body and sleeves. Oh, and let's not forget the Rainy Day Tee. This one, well, I think I'll finish this month, though. I think this will be finished by November. So there's that. That's what I'm thinking of. And then also, I have a cross-stitch project that I don't think I've ever shown you. Oh, 2 cross-stitch projects I found in my cross-stitch drawer. Okay, the first one is the PDX carpet. This is a pattern I made. It's literally stupid. It's the easiest thing. It's just a bunch of rectangles and squares. But anyway, PDX carpet that I have one already and it's framed. I'm looking at it right now, it's framed on my wall. So I guess this would be a gift for someone. This is probably a, I don't know, what year is it? 2024? This is probably an 8 or 9-year-old project. But yeah, that I could finish. And then, this is so shameful. I can't believe I'm showing you this. The other cross stitch that I originally had in mind when I told you I had a cross stitch to finish was this beautiful cross stitch. This is a custom design pattern by Plastic Little Covers. She has patterns on Etsy and she also has a website. But one day, this is going to say Rachel and DJ and have like a nice little flower border and say established and then the date we got married. I think actually it's not going to be the date we got married. It would be the date we became official boyfriend and girlfriend, because we became official boyfriend and girlfriend on March 24th, 2018, and then we were going to get married on March 24th, 2020. So like, I don't know, symbolic, cute, get married on our anniversary. Well, guess what? We had a global event happen that totally wiped out our wedding plans, as with many of, you know, collective plans that we had across the globe. I'm sure you experienced some disappointment during those times as well. And anyway, we weren't married on March 24th. We were married on July 25th. But all this to say, I'll probably put March 24th because that's special. That's so special. Or maybe I'll put both dates. Yeah, I like that idea. But anyway, if I'm going to finish all my projects, then I need to finish this. And the reason why I was ashamed of this being still a project is not because I'm ashamed that I'm married and want a celebratory cross stitch. It's because this was supposed to be an anniversary gift for DJ for our 4th wedding anniversary, because one of the traditional 4-year gifts is cotton, or I think linen. And I thought, wow, what a cool thing if I make a gift with cotton embroidery floss, and I'm pretty sure Aida fabric is cotton. So anyway, no, 3rd year. Cotton is 3rd year because 4th year is flowers. So we went and thrifted a flower vase, which was so cute and fun. So yeah, 3rd year. And anyway, that was over a year ago, and we'll be married for 5 years next summer. So I need to finish this. This is a long time coming. This is late. So those would be the projects that I would be tackling, I would be taking on. So basically 3.5 weeks from December 1st through December 25th. What do you think? Is that nutso butso? Is that a good idea? Can I do it? Let me know in the comments. I will say also, to inform your decision on whether or not this is a good idea or a doable idea, is I'm off work most of December, so I'll have lots of time. something to consider. I'm also thinking it would be fun to crank a pair of socks every day from December 1st through December 25th. So another option. Let me know in the comments which you would be most interested in seeing. Another option is I share like project finishing on YouTube and I do a reel of socks, but also I have this habit that's just insufferable of thinking like, oh, I have some free time on the horizon. Let me think of 2 bajillion ideas of what I can do during that free time. And then the free time comes and I have not given myself any breathing room or time to rest or time to have fun or do anything for my own personal enjoyment because I've just front loaded and over planned all of the things because I was so excited at the idea of having free time that I just erase it from the face of the earth by the time it arrives. What a mess. I know that some of you do that too, so don't be looking at me all high and mighty. I know you do that too. I know it's true. But okay, that's the announcement. Let me know if you think about finishing all my projects or cranking a pair of socks. Which sounds more interesting? Okay, bringing it back to the announcements, focusing back. But do let me know in the comments if you are passionate about one Vlogmas option or another. Let's call this the Vlogmas dilemma. Do you think should be finishing all my projects, cranking a pair of socks a day, some of both, some of neither? Let me know in the comments. But all this to say, back to announcements. I have 2 more announcements for you. The first is that my second installment of the 2024 Irish Knitting Tour is now live on YouTube. You can go and watch it, and I'll link it at the top of the screen here. I go over the next couple days of the trip, including a visit to the Rock of Cashel, to the Nicholas Moss Pottery Studio, to a working sheep farm, to Blarney Woolen Mills and Blarney Castle. I also walk you through our stay at the illustrious 5-star hotel, the Lyrith Estate Hotel. Love staying there. So if you want to experience that a little bit vicarious through past me, go and watch that recap. Which leads me to the next announcement, which is, it is past time that you join me on a knitting tour. I know that you watch the videos and you feel left out and you think, man, I just wish that I could experience that. You can. Do it. We have 7 spots still available on the Scotland Knitting Tour, taking place from May 27th through June 4th. I would love to see those spots full, so if you're interested in joining a knitting tour, please head to the link in the video description. I'll also put it in a pinned comment so you can read through the entire itinerary and go through FAQ about like pricing and booking and all that stuff. And of course, if you have any questions that aren't answered on that webpage, please don't hesitate to let me know in a comment or email me or message me on Instagram or send a carrier pigeon, send a smoke signal, whatever. I'm on the lookout to help you. There's one more thing that I do want to say, and it's not really technically an announcement. I don't really know how to broach this topic. In fact, I've tried several times and I've just stopped because it's stressed me out. But I just want to say, thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for investing in me, whether that is just by watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, supporting the channel by buying patterns on Ravelry or donating to my Ko-fi, K-O-F-I, whatever it's called. I just appreciate you a lot. And it's never been more clear to me than last week, the response to my podcast where I started sharing my sadness and disappointment over the results of the most recent US election. The response ran the gamut. Some people were in agreement with me and others weren't. Some people were in such disagreement to me or with me that it made them feel like they could no longer watch my content. And I just want to say that I am a real person impacted by real things. And even though, yes, I focus on knitting and my projects on this channel and on other platforms, social media platforms, it's still Rachel is knitting, meaning I am the one knitting. I cannot divest my makes from the fact that I'm the person making them. That will always be linked. I am impacted by things that happen in the world. I care about things that happen in the world. And I also make things and share them with you. So I hope that you'll stick around. At the end of the day, I am inviting you into my home to see what I'm up to, what I value, what I think, and it's up to you if you accept that invitation, and I respect if you decline, and I'm so happy if you accept. So anyway, all this to say, I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you'll stick around. I don't know if I'm communicating this clearly. In fact, I'm sure that it could use some polishing and improvement, but ultimately what I'm trying to say is I'm very grateful for you for sticking around and for watching and for listening, but also I hope that the things that I share, whether it's knitting or feelings or funny stories, I hope that everything is always taken in the spirit that it's given, which is that I am passionate about a lot of different things that include knitting and that also extend beyond knitting. And I'm sure that's true of you too. So I hope that you can find beauty in that. I think that it's pretty cool, and I look forward to continuing to share all that with all of you at home. So thanks for coming along for the ride. I really appreciate it, and I hope that I'll see you next time. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified of my next upload. Last but not least, head over to Instagram and follow me at Rachel is Knitting if you don't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.